India suspends visa services in Canada, and Ottawa announces it is adjusting consulate staffing over threats to diplomat. We've reached Maitreyi Bhatt. She has been personally affected by this, and she joins us now live from Toronto. Maitreyi, thank you for taking the time, which is obviously a difficult time for you. And I understand you were planning to get married in India next month. Can you tell us what's happening with that?
So my husband and I actually got married during COVID, which was 2 years ago. And my family is actually from India. And while he's a Canadian citizen, most of his family is in Canada. We have been planning this wedding for the last 2 years. As Indian weddings, we all know it's not just a one-day event. It's like we have planned a 3-day event, and we have booked our venues. We have like vendors all paid for. We have all tickets and everything booked. I have family coming from all over the world. So we have people coming from London, from US and Australia. But now I'm just like the status, because his visa application is on hold. I have no idea, because I'm not getting no answers from anyone on what my next steps are going to be. I'm just devastated. This morning has been really awful.
I'm sure it has been for you, and I'm sorry about that. So can you just explain your citizenship status versus your husband's citizenship status and what the problem is?
So I am an Indian citizen, and I hold a permanent residency in Canada. My husband is a Canadian citizen, so he does require a visitor visa to visit India. And with everything going on right now, his application status is just pretty much on hold. And we just have no information on when it will resume, or if they're going to come out with any solution for people like us, because for me to be planning this wedding for 2 years, it's obviously a lot of time, investment, everything. Besides all of that, I was just super excited to get married in India, and I don't know if that's going to happen anymore.
Wow, I mean, that must be really just disappointing to both you and your husband. I mean, obviously you can't go to India without him for your wedding, right? And so how have you both been kind of dealing with this?
I have, to be honest, I've just been crying all morning. I actually figured out the situation happened in the morning as I started getting calls from family back home and trying to figure out what we're going to do or what our next steps are going to be. I really had faith in the consulate here, as my only thought was the only people that can answer me is the consulate. So as soon as I reached work, I actually went straight to consulate after when they opened. To my surprise, they would not let me enter the consulate, actually. So they had this one person just sitting at the lobby asking people what they are going to go do at the consulate. And I said, I have an issue with the visa. And they just stopped me at the lobby. I kept pleading them for me to speak to some representative to just get answers. At this point, I just really need to know what I'm going to be doing next. But they did not even allow me to speak to anybody, and I was escorted out of the building, actually. So it's honestly been awful.
Well, what was that like for you to so you went there, and how did you feel about how they responded?
I mean, it's just for them to just clearly just tell me, no, I cannot even go speak to anybody, was a shock, because as an Indian citizen, it's my right to go speak to a consulate about anything, really. This has to be, I'm speaking on behalf of my husband right now, but I, as an Indian citizen, should be able to go to a consulate no matter what. And them denying me this right was just, I was just in shock, and I just didn't know how to feel about it.
So what kind of conversations have you had with your family back in India?
This visa services on the news and everything that we've been reading about are saying that it's been halted until further notice. So we don't know if it's going to be a week, a month, or 2 months. So we're kind of going on the road of maybe rescheduling and talking to the vendors and venues and seeing if they can even reschedule, because deposits and everything have already been made. I was actually supposed to get married on October the 26th, and it's just, I don't know if that's going to happen anymore.
Oh, and I'm sure, and you said it was a big wedding. There were people coming from all over. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so since we've been planning this for 2 years, we did give people enough notice, like my family members that are everywhere, to just, have their holidays booked off at work and everything, because we've been waiting for this moment for 2 years. And also because my husband and I got married in COVID time, my husband has actually not met my family. So it was honestly like such a big deal for me because my husband's going to see my family for the first time. And I honestly don't know anymore. Like everything's just shattered. Like I just feel like the ground just shattered underneath me.
Maitreyi, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that you're going through this, but
I'm so sorry. Like I'm just so emotional. Like I've just been crying, and this has been the worst. Like I'm so sorry.
no, don't be sorry. We're sorry, and I hope this all works itself out. But appreciate you talking to us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Maitreyi Bhatt, a person affected by India suspending visas in Canada.